Not unless... Sirens sounded through my living room. The window was open, letting in all the noise from outside. I lived in a brownstone in Chelsea, Manhattan. It was just me and Veronica, who had moved in only 2 weeks earlier. No one else was inside, from the last thing I remember, which was... What were we doing? Shit, I couldn't remember. The sirens were louder now, directly outside the window. I got up, surprised I was able to stand with how shaky my legs were. Legs. Oh, that's right. Veronica was practicing a dance routine she was going to do for an audition. I was watching her, drinking on the couch, pointing out when she'd miss a step. That was at 1 in the afternoon. She had the audition at 4, and it was now... Fuck. 11 o'clock at night. The police station stank. There were homeless people, drunk people, regular people here for who only knew what. Overall, it was a shit time, all compounded by the fact that I had woken up to my roommate dead in the living room. It still wasn't fully hitting me. Maybe I was still in shock. Maybe it was the mix of alcohol and medication still numbing my system. I'd realize what happened in slow bursts. The ride to the station had me bursting out into random cries. I pulled myself together, though, insisting we would find whoever did this. I had been scared that the cops would accuse me of doing it, but thankfully the 2 officers that showed up seemed compassionate and willing to help. It sounded like they believed my story, as crazy as it sounded while I was saying it. Seriously, I need to stop doing this. Drinking, blacking out. At the station, the 2 officers walked me to a room I assumed was reserved for interrogations. Lucky for my sanity, there was a window in this room. I hated tight spaces, so being able to look out at the police parking lot helped me calm down a bit. It was dark out, the street lamps on and glowing their orange light down onto the hoods of the police cars. It felt like another 2 hours before anyone came into the room. It was a police officer, but I didn't know this guy. He was dressed in a regular navy polo shirt and dark jeans. I knew he was a cop by the badge hitched onto the waist of his jeans. He had big, bushy brows that framed intense brown eyes. He had a couple of scars on his forearms and face. He'd obviously seen some shit. Well, guess I'd seen some shit now, too. Fuck. I need a beer. Just 1 beer. It still didn't fully click into place. Drinking was what had me sitting in this dingy police station. If I hadn't opened that bottle, I wouldn't have blacked out. I'm going to need one to go to sleep tonight. Griffin Banks. Yes? I replied, even though the cop's tone didn't sound like he was asking anything. I'm Detective Dawson. Want to tell me what happened tonight? I was sitting in an uncomfortable chair on one side of a sturdy white table. The cop took the seat across from me, his chair scratching against the big gray tiles underneath. My head pounded. Exhaustion was overcoming the adrenaline. Someone outside the room was yelling something about the Illuminati. I wanted to cry and sleep and drink, although I wasn't sure exactly in what order. I mixed up my medication with my liquor. I blacked out for something like 8 hours. When I woke up, Veronica was dead. How often do you mix the meds with alcohol? Not often. We both knew that was a lie. The detective sat back in the chair. He had big brown eyes, the kind that made you feel at ease. But the way the rest of his face was set told me this guy wasn't someone who went easy on people. He looked like a bulldog chasing down a bacon strip. Something in my brain was trying to push forward in that moment, shouting at me, fighting for my attention, but I just couldn't pinpoint it. Griffin, he said, his voice sounding as soft as his eyes. You gotta be up front here, honest. We want to help find who did this to your friend. Right. It was hitting me. Slowly. Fuck. I coughed, or was that a cry? Shit, I don't know what happened. When you woke up, do you remember seeing a murder weapon anywhere? My eyes widened. I hadn't even thought of that. Of how she died. And with what? It was bloody and I was panicked. No. I shook my head. I didn't see...